In fact, the governments would love to see it just get destroyed. And you know what it would do? It would cause massive deflation. And that would probably solve the inflation problem, because you'd wipe out hundreds of billions of dollars.
What's up? It's Chris Rowe and True Market Insiders. I'm here with two of the True Market Insiders, Costas Bocelli, we call him C-Bo.
Hey there.
And Big Bill Spencer to my left.
We call him Bebo.
We call him Bebo. We're True Market Insiders. We're the people giving you investment advice. That's us. So we're here to talk to you today about one reason why cryptocurrency might go to zero. That's right. I said cryptocurrency as a whole might go to zero. Costas has some pretty interesting theories on that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of fear in the stock market. We're hitting new 52-week lows. There's a lot of fear in the fixed income market, right? A lot of fixed income that relies on bonds. They're getting whacked on their principals as yields are rising and prices are falling. And now we're starting to see a lot of fear with digital assets. They're breaking significant levels of support. People are getting nervous. There's billions of dollars in the crypto space, and now we're seeing
the fable coin.
The fable coin, and now we're seeing a break in the stable coins. There's cryptocurrencies out there that are supposed to be pegged to the dollar, where you get that true storage of value, right, outside of the dollar. And now they are breaking the buck, and people are scared to death. There was one project that was down 50%, and that is big money. A lot of scared money out there. And this is the new frontier of investing, right? The crypto hasn't been around very much, and the biggest thing is there is not a lot of regulation around it. So what happens when the stock market goes into meltdown? You got what? The plunge protection team, right? There's dealers in there. The Fed, team? The PPT, man. Plunge protection team.
Okay.
That's right. The last savior of the stock market is the Fed, right?
Plunge protection team.
Yep, they come in there. They buy futures. They'll buy stocks. They'll prop it up. They got all the major dealers in there. That is what's been happening ever since I was on the floor.
And what are they going to buy it with? What money?
They print it. They print it and they prop it up.
They print money so that they could solve the problems that printing money caused.
Yep. Well, that's what keeps things going. But the thing is with crypto, right? Is there a plunge protection team for crypto?
No,
and I think that it's tough to short crypto too. I think that there are ways to short crypto, right? But I don't think there's a lot of easy ways to short crypto, is there?
It's very difficult to short crypto. But you're talking about most of the folks that trade crypto are long. They believe in the story.
Yeah. So the reason that I ask is because if you can't short something, then there's no real reason for it to make a bottom, because the first bottom in a sell-off doesn't happen because some brave bullish investor comes in and buys all the coins in free fall. Instead, it's because people shorted something and now they're buying it back to take profits, and all that buying causes the first bottom that bulls are then comfortable buying at. But if you can't short something, that's why it's always stupid when market's crashing and then they put a ban on shorting stocks. It's like you're making it worse. You put a ban on shorting stocks. So nobody's going to be covering their short, making that first bottom. It just goes. It's a way to just knock down markets. So that's something that's always scared me about the crypto market, is if you can't short, then it'll just go to free fall.
Well, how hard is it to short? It's not like you can't short it. It's just who's going to.
I don't know too much about shorting it, but I don't think it's something that's very popular, and I think that it's really tough to do.
You don't hear about it.
Right. Well, they did have. They were shorting. They had futures on Bitcoins. I think that actually went away. I believe, but it's very difficult to do that.
When you say went away, what do you mean?
The biggest thing with crypto is that when you talk about systemic failure, right?
That's the big one.
You can't have that, right, in U.S. assets, right, in the stock market, the banking system.
Yeah.
You cannot, right? You saw what would happen, what the governments would do. They spend trillions, right? Not only the Federal Reserve, but also the government with a massive monetary stimulus to save the system.
What, in 08?
08, COVID crash, they threw everything at it. In fact, the QE was even much stronger in 2020. The balance sheet went to $9 trillion, where it is right now.
Yeah, it went from 4 to 9.
Right, so because they have to protect against this systemic failure. You can't have the banking system fall apart. Well, when you talk about systemic failure in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, do you really think that the governments are going to step in to save that? If Bitcoin is gone tomorrow, does our system
No.
go away?
Not at all. No.
Right? A lot of people are going to get hurt.
A lot of bros.
A lot of individuals are going to get hurt. A lot of people are going to get hurt.
Unbroed.
It's going to be
They're going to
be very painful. But there's not going to be a savior, I don't think, for cryptocurrency if it continues lower.
No, like what would the incentive be for a
No, in fact, it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
It would be the opposite. In fact, the governments would love to see it just get destroyed. And you know what it would do? It would cause massive deflation, and that would probably solve the inflation problem because you'd wipe out hundreds of billions of dollars in the system, right? You would remove it. It would probably cause some type of a recession. It would probably bring down inflation. That would probably be the answer. Maybe that is the answer to breaking the cycle of inflation.
So
crypto dies.
So Bitcoin, let's say a catastrophic failure of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of these others. How does that cause deflation?
J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley,
Yeah.
Citibank, all the important cogs of the wheel would survive. They don't have systemic exposure to Bitcoin. What goes? The Coinbases, all the cryptos, everything that's in that ecosystem would take a pummeling.
Right. But how does that cause deflation given that it's the fiat currency?
Well, because I think the size of the
$9
crypto space,
supply chain,
there's hundreds of billions of dollars of real money that's parked in these assets. If they go away, that is going to ripple through the economy, no doubt. It would definitely hurt.
Talk about like the wealth effect. People know they have that there. It's like a house.
30 less Ferraris that would be bought. 20 less Lamborghinis would be bought. Beach houses, $1 million. People that have made a lot of money, that would go away. It would be a deflationary environment, no doubt. It would be a hit. I think that would definitely.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So
I actually never thought of that. That's an interesting.
Crush the crypto market.
What's that?
It might be in the government's interest
to crush the crypto market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.